Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be reviewing, with no spoilers at all, 1917. So this movie, I'll say right off the bat, was incredible. I am shocked, genuinely just in a state of shock. I was already very excited to see the movie, and then my excitement doubled following the Golden Globes, which, those of you who don't know, it won not only Best Director but Best Picture Drama at the Golden Globes. So I was suddenly even more excited to see this movie, and I thought it already looked really good. The long shots in the trailer blew my mind, and just the way the film, the way the directing and the cinematography and all of it, the way it all looked was just stunning. And I just knew that if the trailer looked that good, and it wasn't even about the editing of the trailer, but it was about the content in the trailer that looked so good, that I knew the movie at least had to be decent. I was very excited to see this movie, and my parents were as well, so I got to see a movie with both my parents in the theater, which is becoming increasingly rare, which is a shame. But even though it's hard to get them to the theater, it's nice that when I do get them to the theater, it's for such a good movie. So again, this video will not have any spoilers, so it's going to be hard to talk about anything really to do with the plot. Those of you who have seen the trailers know that the basic premise is that two members for the British Army, they are told that they need to relay a message to call off an attack a ways away in order to save 1,600 men, including the brother of one of the men being sent. And so that alone is already an incredibly interesting story and an incredibly interesting script to write. And the way that they elevated the script and the story, which was already incredibly interesting, with the directing and the camera work and the acting was impeccable. George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman deserve so many more roles after this. I mean, just so many more roles. Dean Charles Chapman, I think, is the only one of the two that's been in a movie I've actually covered, or something I've actually covered. He was in Game of Thrones. He was Tommen Baratheon. And seeing him in a bigger role was really cool. And I've seen George McKay in a few films, so it was just exciting to see the two of them lead a film. And they did an incredible job with it. Their acting was phenomenal. I mean, this was a tough story. And I think it would have been very easy for the audience to forget how serious and how dangerous it was. But Sam Mendes and George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman, and the work from the cinematographer and the camera operator, Roger Deakins, and I'm totally going to butcher this name, but Pete Cavacuti? I had to write their names down though, and obviously there are more people that go into this, but those are the two first names that came up and the ones that were primarily listed in the credits, so I made sure to jot them down. But the storytelling from those five people that I just mentioned deserves literally so much praise, so many awards. I can't even say enough about how magnificent and remarkable and just jaw-dropping what they did was. Obviously the acting, I don't even need to go into that. Like, the acting was just so powerful, and Sam Mendes' directing was a true feat. It was very Nolan-esque, the whole film was, but Sam Mendes accomplished something something I've never seen before, and something that truly captured the time frame they had to do this in, and World War I. Like, the sheer destruction and devastation of a world war, mixed with all the other, like, the moments of charm, the moments of hope, the moments of failure, of defeat, of loss. He covers all of this so beautifully and so powerfully. And his choice to use long shots was the best possible decision for this movie. And I think it's a huge contributing factor to its award buzz and to its praise. Because I was watching my watch, and looking back, I think it might have cut, because I've been trying to find a moment where, off the top of my head, for certain, I can list one time it actually cut to a different shot. Or like one time where obviously like maybe there was a time jump, or one time in the entire movie. That is ridiculous. Normally, those of you who don't notice cuts, if people are having a conversation in a film, it's usually cut to this person's face while they're talking, cut to this person's face while they're talking, cut to an establishing shot of the building, cut to the room inside the building where the scene is taking place. Stuff like that, not done. The camera was constantly following the actors through every single setting, through every location. It was in real time, and it was crazy. I stopped watching my watch at the 15-minute mark, and I was like, there has to have been. I stopped watching it because I was like, there's no way they have done 15 minutes of this flawlessly. It blows my mind. The amount of rehearsal, choreography, the fact that no extras, no actors, no crew members, nothing. There can be no mistakes in a continuous shot like that. I've remarked multiple times on my YouTube channel how much I love continuous shots. I've talked about it in the Netflix movie The King. I've talked about it in Game of Thrones. I've talked about how I love how fight sequences have continuous shots. I think they make them really realistic, and they put you in the moment. From the opening shot of this film till the end of the film, it literally felt like you were not ever cutting away from these people. You were with the characters the entire time. And sometimes the camera would pan and show the landscape, and then it would pan right back, or the characters would walk into where it panned. It literally never left them behind, and it never fell behind. The camera was always with them. And the amount of skill that takes, from the directing, from the acting, from the script writing, from the choreography, to the stunts and explosives, to the extras, to the camera operator, the Steadicam operators. I mean, I would hire these people on the spot. It was absolutely flawless. It was completely impeccable. I am just absolutely in awe of what a feat all of that was. Just everything to do with the camera. And if you don't think about it, it just disappears. You don't realize, you don't register the fact that it's a continuous shot. Eventually you're just like, I mean, I was looking for it because I wanted to know how long, because I knew from the trailer that he was doing long shots, and I love long shots, so I was watching for it. And after 15 minutes, I was like, I can't even, I'm just trusting that this is never gonna cut. Like, it's just never gonna cut. And there's only one moment when it was clear that it obviously wasn't a continuous shot. And honestly, it might have been, but there's no way they filmed this entire movie in one shot. That's like not possible. But it's just absolutely remarkable what happened. I mean, you guys need to see this movie. You need to witness the sheer feat that long shots like that take. I will never get over it. This movie will be a constant example in my mind of how to perfectly execute long shots. I love them so much, so I cannot stop talking about that. But again, so shout outs to Roger and Pete for just making the camera a character, and putting us literally in the scene, putting us in World War I. It was remarkable. I'm just floored. Wow. Okay, so yeah, those are, yeah. And then beyond that, I think the script was at times slightly predictable, but apparently it was only predictable to me and not to my parents. So maybe that has to do with the fact that I study film and watch it religiously, so that like sometimes I know when I'm being set up, you know, and I know where there's foreshadowing and stuff. 90% of the time it's hard to trick me with stuff like that. So there are certain things I did see coming, but I think the script overall was really well executed, and I thought the dialogue was really good, and actually it did a very good job of keeping me on edge on moments when I actually didn't need to be on edge, and then having me relax at moments when I should not have been relaxing. So I think the dialogue was really tricky in that sense, and the script writing in general, and I thought that was very strong, and give a lot of credit to that. Again, overall, all the acting, the guest performances, not guest performances, what am I even saying? Like the appearances from other well-known actors like Richard Madden, who played Robb Stark, and he's also in the new Marvel Eternals movie. He was also in Cinderella, the live-action Cinderella. So, and many other movies as well. But Richard Madden, Colin Firth, Benedict Cumberbatch were all in this movie. And then, honestly, I could have sworn I saw Pedro Pascal at one moment. Just like a passing shot. And I was like, that looked like Pedro Pascal. And it could have been a complete doppelganger. Who knows? And it might not have been him at all, but I'd be curious to rewatch the movie. And honestly, if you guys are considering seeing this movie, please come back, comment on this video, and let me know if you ever saw Pedro Pascal. I'll let you know it's in the final third of the film. Just look out at like the extras. And I was like, I don't know why Pedro Pascal would ever be an extra in a movie, but I could have sworn it was him. Anyway, all the acting performances were really good. I thought a lot of the smaller roles for the soldiers throughout the film were very well acted and very well done, and they felt like real people. I mean, all these people felt like real people. And again, I just loved the trickiness and the mysteriousness of the script at times. It was just so strong. And again, the acting and just the camera work and the action, and overall it was just it was an incredibly well done film, and I highly recommend it. So that was me gushing about 1917. Please go see it. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on doing so. If you've already seen it, please leave spoilers out of the comments. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and if you plan on seeing 1917, and subscribe if you want to see more of my coverage from actors in this film or other Sam Mendes films going forward in the future. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for new work from this director, and I would be very excited to hear, again, all of your thoughts down below. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Go see 1917, and have a good day, everyone.